Nsukka, a local government headquarters in Enugu State, Nigeria, is the location of the prestigious University of Nigeria. It is also home to an estimated 950,000 people, known for its greenhouse farms with an irrigation system where tomatoes and pepper are produced both in rainy and dry seasons. Nsukka is blessed with certain individuals who stand up to the challenges and advocate and support the growth of industry in Nigeria. We are now going to speak to one such person. He is Daniel Ochi, the Director General of Nsukka Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Watch this. So now we are here with Dr. Daniel Ochi, the Director General of Nsukka Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Daniel, it's a pleasure to have you.
Good to have you, sir.
Daniel, before we speak about Nsukka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, our viewers just want to know a little bit about the man behind the entire picture, you. So can we have a little bit more information about you, your experiences, what you have done in the past, and what brought you onto this road to help businesses grow?
Thank you. My name is Dr. Daniel Ochi. I am a 56-year-old, and I had my elementary school and secondary school and university education. In the university, I studied accountancy as a first degree, and I studied MBA, also in Nigeria, Masters of Business Administration with specialization in marketing. I did my doctorate degree in entrepreneurship at Atlantic International University, Hawaii, in USA. And before then, after my national youth service as a first degree holder, I started work in a private organization as an account officer and worked briefly and then moved from, that was in Lagos, Nigeria, and I moved to Abuja, the city capital, the capital city of Nigeria, and then also started work as a business development manager in a business promotion outfit. I also worked as the general manager and head of business development for another organization, Metro Chai Nigeria Limited. Later on, I worked as the business development manager for Abuja Graduate School, which is a management development institution based in Abuja.
Right.
Where I had the business development programs. I equally, at a part-time basis, teaches entrepreneurship skills at the polytechnic, a private polytechnic in Abuja. While I was doing my MBA, I had opportunities of running some programs and researches. And when I enrolled for my doctorate degree, I was doing a research on the contribution of SMEs to the economic development of the country. In the course of doing that, I just discovered that in Nigeria, we have the National Association of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, which is the umbrella body of all the chambers of commerce and industry in Nigeria. And then in my state and in Southeast Nigeria is the business hub of Nigeria, where about 60 to 70% of an average person is a trader or a businessman. I also discovered that in most of the states in Southeast, there are city chambers existing. Go to Anambra State, they have about 4 city chambers. Go to other states, they have about 3 city chambers. But in my own state, Enugu, I discovered we have only 1 city chamber. And my own city, Nsukka, does not have a chamber of commerce. I said, well,
so that is where you decided you would come on board.
Yes. This is how I get inspired. I said, no, I have to want to see how I can form a team for us to start a chamber of commerce in Nsukka. Nsukka is actually the second largest city in Enugu State, and the city of the first indigenous university in Nigeria. That's the University of Nigeria, is situated in Nsukka. And by October this year, they will be celebrating their 60 years of existence. And I said, look, We have to do something. And as God will have it, in 2015, we got the Nsukka Chamber of Commerce Incorporated. And in 2016, we started doing one thing or the other to support SMEs. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I've been reading up a little bit about you. You're very strong in enterprise development, helping businesses grow as well. It's really, really impressive what you've been doing. Now, let us get into the chamber. Let us talk about the chamber. Nsukka Chamber of Commerce is actually a federal government accredited business service provider. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so if let's say we were talking about venturing into business in Nigeria, what would you say would be the best options? Let's say for myself, if I want to set up a business in Nigeria, what would be the best option for me? And how would you, as a Chamber of Commerce, support my venture?
Thank you. As a Chamber of Commerce and an accredited business development service provider, what we will do is, if you, assuming you come into Nigeria and you want to start or sort up a business, we will try and find out your area of interest, your skill, and your pedigree. What are your passion? What kind of business you have in mind or would you like to do? What have you been doing in the past? By the time we have that information, because there is a questionnaire we normally give to potential people who want to go into business. By the time you must complete that questionnaire, which will assist you if you need our assistance, we will be able to make a recommendation on the type of businesses. We'll look at the businesses that are profitable, that are marketable, that will be acceptable based on your areas of competencies. Because in Nigeria, there are so many businesses. Nigeria is a developing nation, and most businesses are big opportunities for a country, a developing nation like Nigeria. So first of all, we're not going to impose any business for you. We'll look at what you have in your mind, what is your passion, what is your skill, what have you been doing in the past, where is your areas of competency, and then from there we will channel, say this is the kind of business we feel that is this for you, based on the location, based on your experience, and the capital available, and the profitability of such business. Thank you.
That's pretty comprehensive, the way you assist your members. Now, what would be the top, if I would say, the top 3 most sought after business ventures in Nigeria at this point in time?
Agriculture is one of them.
Yep.
Agriculture. Nigeria is about the largest, of course, in terms of population, if not the 4th or the 5th most populated country in the world, and the largest in Africa, about 200 million. We don't produce enough food. We still import some. So anywhere you want to venture in agriculture, whether processing, packaging for export, excellent. You will do well. ICT is one of them. Technology. We're lacking behind technologically. Medical and healthcare is also one of them.
Wow.
Okay. And in these areas, if you can come up with a technology-supported businesses, then excellent.
Okay. So now, just off the top of my head, just wanted to know, what are some of the initiatives and projects undertaken by your chamber to support the needs of your members? What are some of the things that you have done?
In just before COVID in 2019,
right,
we saw a very big opportunity in agriculture, and there is a particular product, yellow habanero, yellow pepper, that is peculiar to Nsukka people and only produced in Nsukka land.
Right.
Very peculiar, very aromatic, very nice aroma. It's the best yellow pepper in the world in terms of aroma. And it's only grown mainly in Nsukka. It's sought after. Every other person in Nigeria, in Africa, in Nigeria, in diaspora are looking for this yellow pepper. So by the time you use it to make your soup and stew, wow, the aroma is enticing and appetizing.
You're making my mouth water already.
Honestly. And if you prepare it as spices to spice your food, is something else. Now it's produced mainly in Nsukka, maybe because of the climatic or the geographical location or the soil peculiar to Nsukka. So when we discovered that, we said, no, this is gold mine for us. This is an opportunity as a chamber. We started to assemble some experts, and then one thing lead to the other, and then we got order from a logistics company, ABS World, based in Lagos. And we signed an MOU to take this product, 100 metric tons every month. If we can gather the farmers, local farmers, small farmers, to produce these crops. Another manufacturing company based in Anambra State of Nigeria, they are into spices production. They produce spices and food condiments.
Right.
They also sign an MOU with us. And then if we can get them 7 tons weekly, they are willing to buy. In business development, we know that the best product is product that have already markets, that the buyers are waiting, not the one you produce and start going up and down looking for buyers. So the best products are the products that have off-taker that have already made markets.
Right.
So we jumped at, but we don't have the funding and the resources to empower these local farmers. And the chamber on our own, we cannot go directly into and start farming on our own.
Okay.
Because every of our farmers are busy in their own individual businesses.
Right.
So we started to assemble about 800 smallholder farmers who've been doing this for over some years. We went to the Central Bank of Nigeria, told them this opportunity, had a presentation with them, had a presentation with the state government, had presentation with some investors. But at the end of the day, it was only the Central Bank who decided to give us a credit facility, a loan, which we, in the other way, give to the farmers at a 5% interest. So that when they produce these goods, when they do the farming, at the end of the harvest period, the off-taker will off-take and pay them. This is what we started, but COVID disrupted it a small. During COVID, everybody went to his own for safe. You fight for your safety first. So we couldn't comprehend that. Last year, we succeeded, and the farmers came back, and then we distributed them to those of them who are winning, who have been well profiled to ensure that they are real farmers and not political farmers.
Right.
And some of them got this loan facility. The only challenges we have is that pests and then absences of agronomists, experienced farm extension officers, to render professional service to this one to ensure that there is increase in yield. But these are some of the things. Another thing we do also is through our members, we had a business dinner, a business seminar where we ask members of the chamber, this is a business opportunity. We can actually build a greenhouse farm. A greenhouse is a farming controlled environment where you can produce crops and vegetable in a scientifically controlled environment.
Right.
That we did 2 years ago, and the greenhouse is doing well. The only challenge we also have is the issue of manpower and all the technology in place. But members contributed, and we hope that by next year, members will start getting dividends for having invested in this project.
I'm pretty sure it will.
To help our members and help the community.
Right. You are doing so much. You're doing way much more than I believe some of your predecessors have done. And it's a great initiative on your side. Now, we just got over a major war with COVID-19. The entire world has been affected. Now, as we head into the post-pandemic world, help us to understand how was Nigeria affected by COVID-19, as well as the new measures that were put into place to mitigate the impact of COVID-19. What has happened to the business community? How were they affected?
Nigeria is part of the global community.
Right.
And none of the countries were spared by the pandemic. It affected almost virtually all sectors.
Yes.
But some sectors were more affected, especially in Nigeria, like the tourism and hospitality industry, the transport industry, the food and catering industry, the tourism, the cinema houses, the hotels, and all that. Most people lost their jobs during the pandemic. Most businesses closed down. sales reduced to the lowest ever, income reduced. Most people were retrenched and asked to work at home. Even when you need to work at home, some majority, especially like I said, Nigeria is a developing country. Some people don't have access to an Android phone. They don't have, majority don't have access to the internet where they can meet visually and then source for business visually. So all businesses were actually crippled. And but we give God glory that currently some companies are recovering. Companies are started to go visual. You could now, through the social media, generate leads, generate new customer prospects, and then see how you can reach them. Because as a new normal, people are beginning to see that going visual is just the best alternative for now. And most businesses are doing that in order to recover from pandemic effects. Thank you.
Right. Now, the Africa Climate Week, it took place about 2 weeks ago, was it? Now, there was a lot of talks with regard to the challenges faced by Africa on climate change, as well as the importance of regional collaboration and the implementation of solutions to mitigate the impacts of climate change. It has also been said that tackling climate change will require the most significant political, social, and economic effort that the world has ever seen. What role is your chamber playing in all this?
Yeah, thank you. We know that the issue of climate change, just like the pandemic, is a global issue and a very sophisticated one for that matter. Most local people don't understand what we mean by climate change. And what we do is that because part of our core competency is in the area of agriculture, we know that the climate change affects agriculture production, food production adversely. So on our own, we get information. There's an agency of the federal government of Nigeria called NIMET, Nigeria Meteorological Institute. They try to predict the weather annually, the amount of rainfall, the amount of sunshine, when the rain is likely going to start, when it's likely going to stop, when is drought likely going to happen, when is flood likely going to happen, the area it will happen. We partner with this organization to get the information ahead just before the farming season, because the farming season in Southeast Nigeria starts from late February, and then February, March, April. So we go ahead and get this information from the agency, and then try and organize radio program, a TV show, and then through the cooperative societies of the farmers to let them know, look, this year, this is what is going to happen. There's going to be flood between this social area. Don't farm in this area because of flood. Then the climate change between July and August, that you normally have a break. There will be no break because of climate change. These are what is going to happen. So this is what we do on our own as a Chamber of Commerce to carry people along to understand what the global warming is all about.
Fantastic. Now, when we talk about the, let's move on, yeah? We move on to talking about the economic development of the entire continent. The African continent boils down to, then we go on to the countries, like Nigeria, for example, followed by the many cities. We break it down even further to the businesses operating within the cities, and then down to the SMEs. Now, tell us, how does Nsukka Chamber of Commerce support these SMEs to become the catalyst of economic growth?
Yeah, what we do is that we have a calendar, a training calendar.
Yep.
And then where we organize workshops, seminars, and training for SMEs.
Right.
Both here in Nsukka and Enugu State and globally. And nationally, that is Nigeria. I also told you that Nsukka Chamber of Commerce belongs to the apex body of all there are about 55 city chambers of commerce and industry in Nigeria. Right. They are controlled under one umbrella of Nigeria Associations of Chambers of Commerce. We participate fully. We are a registered member, and we participate fully in the activities. Apart from the seminars and workshops that are organized by this organization, we also do our own. let me also not forget to let you know that Nsukka Chamber of Commerce was actually approved and appointed as an entrepreneurship development center by the Central Bank of Nigeria in July 2019 as an EDI, Entrepreneurship Development Institution in Nigeria. So Nsukka Chamber of Commerce is an entrepreneurship development institution. Under this program, the CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, empowers us to build the capacity of SMEs, to train them and build their capacity to be able to access SME support soft loans, to build their capacity to access markets, to build their capacity to start and grow their business, to build their capacity to be able to package their products quantitatively in order to meet global export minimum standard. Help them to set up a standard operation procedure in line with global best practices. So as an entrepreneurship development institution, we organize workshops monthly in Nsukka and Enugu State, where potential SMEs, budding SMEs and budding entrepreneurs come to build their skills to be able to access this government fund at 5% per annum. And we're happy to announce that about 30 to 35% of the budding entrepreneurs and SMEs we've trained was able to access this loan. Having known what their requirement is, we help them to know how to keep their books records in order to meet the banking requirement, because no banking institution, financial institution will give you a credit facility if you don't have a past record, if you don't have a record of your activities. So this is what will help them to do to tidy up their own end so that they can access from and access market.
That's amazing. You've done so much for these businesses. Let's take a short break. We will be back in just a few minutes with Dr. Daniel Ochi, the director of Nsukka Chamber of Commerce and Industry.